महासचिव वेस्ट बंगाल श्री शत्रुघ्न प्रसाद सिन्हा।
मैं शत्रुघ्न प्रसाद सिन्हा, जो लोकसभा के सदस्य के रूप में निर्वाचित हुआ हूं, ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा। मैं भारत की प्रभुता और अखंडता अक्षुण्ण रखूंगा तथा जिस पद को मैं ग्रहण करने वाला हूं उसके कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक निर्वहन करूंगा। थैंक यू।
नो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
इशारा कर रहा था सर।
नमस्कार।
थैंक यू सर।
माननीय सदस्यों, मुझे सदन को वियतनाम की कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी की केंद्रीय समिति के माननीय महासचिव श्री गुयेन फू ट्रोंग के दुखद निधन के बारे में सूचित करना है। श्री ट्रोंग का 80 वर्ष की आयु में हनोई में दिनांक 19 जुलाई 2024 को निधन हो गया। महासचिव श्री गुयेन फू ट्रोंग पिछले 13 वर्षों से इस पद पर आसीन सबसे वरिष्ठ वियतनामी राजनीतिज्ञ थे और वियतनाम में उनका व्यापक सम्मान किया जाता था। इससे पहले उन्होंने वियतनाम के समाजवादी गणराज्य की नेशनल असेंबली के अध्यक्ष और देश में कई वरिष्ठ राजनीतिक पदों पर कार्य किया। महासचिव श्री गुयेन फू ट्रोंग ने दशकों से वियतनाम की प्रगति और विकास में केंद्रीय भूमिका निभाई। उन्होंने भारत वियतनाम मित्रता और दोनों देशों के बीच व्यापक रणनीति साझेदारी में योगदान भी दिया। वह 2013 में राजकीय यात्रा पर भारत आए थे और मुझे अप्रैल 2022 में वियतनाम में एक भारतीय संसदीय प्रतिमंडल का नेतृत्व करते समय उनसे मिलने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ था। ये सदन दुख की इस घड़ी में वियतनाम के लोगों के साथ अपनी एकजुटता व्यक्त करता है और महामहिम श्री गुयेन फू ट्रोंग के निधन पर वियतनाम की सरकार समाजवादी गणराज्य के नेतृत्व तथा वहाँ की मित्र जनता के प्रति गहरी संवेदना व्यक्त करता है। सदन दिवंगत आत्मा की स्मृति में कुछ देर मौन रहेगा। ओम शांति। प्रश्नकाल। प्रश्न संख्या 1 श्री राहुल कसवा। मैं इधर देखता हूं भी आपको।
प्रश्न संख्या बोलिए।
प्रश्न संख्या माननीय मंत्री जी।
उत्तर सभा पटल से।
माननीय सदस्य।
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय। अध्यक्ष महोदय, देश के अंदर 15 दिसंबर 1963 को पहला केंद्रीय विद्यालय स्कूल खोला गया देश के अंदर। उसके बाद आज तक देश के अंदर करीब 1253 स्कूल खोले गए हैं। बीते हुए 5 सालों की अगर मंत्री महोदय के जवाब के अनुसार बात करूं तो 48 स्कूल नए खुले, जिसमें से राजस्थान प्रदेश को मात्र 2 स्कूल मिले हैं। जिस स्पीड से स्कूल पिछले 56 साल में खुले, करीब 22 स्कूल प्रति साल खुलते गए और बीते हुए 5 साल में मात्र 2 स्कूल ही प्रति साल खुले। एक तो ये स्पीड बहुत ही कम हुई और जो गाइडलाइंस बनाई गई थी वो गाइडलाइंस 1963 के हिसाब से बनाई गई। आज का बदलता हुआ वक्त है और आप की सरकार अमृत सिटीज़ नाम की बड़े बड़े शहरों को विकसित कर रही है, जिनकी 1 लाख से ऊपर की पॉपुलेशन है। सर, मैं आपके मार्फत से मंत्री महोदय जानना चाहता हूं कि क्या सरकार अपनी नीति में परिवर्तन लाएगी और लाके ऐसे स्कूल्स जो 1 लाख से ऊपर की आबादी के स्कूल्स हैं, जो सिटीज़ हैं, जैसे मेरा ही लोकसभा क्षेत्र।
Okay, all right. So, of course, there you heard, viewers. Of course, everyone's there at the Parliament. In fact, joining us at this point of time is Mr. Raj Lakshmi Joshi, political analyst, and also with us on the broadcast is Professor D.K. Giri, political analyst as well. A very good morning to the two of you, and thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on News X. Now, of course, this monsoon session is taking place ahead of the union budget that is expected to be announced. I'll come to the question, but let's first listen into Jayant Chaudhary there.
परफॉर्मेंस हो, किसी भी मानक को आप देखेंगे तो दूसरी संस्थाओं को सरपास कर रहा है। राजस्थान के संबंध में माननीय सदस्य ने सवाल पूछा है और सुजानगढ़ के संबंध में मुख्य सवाल में उन्होंने पूछा। सुजानगढ़ को लेकर अभी हमारे पास कोई प्रस्ताव नहीं पेश हुआ है और उसकी एक पुरानी प्रक्रिया है, जिस प्रक्रिया को, जिस नियम को हमें फॉलो करना पड़ता है।
माननीय सदस्य।
मंत्री महोदय, मैंने यही बात पूछी है कि क्या हम पॉलिसी को चेंज करने की कोशिश करेंगे, क्योंकि आज की तारीख में दूर दराज के अंदर जहाँ स्कूल है, आज मेरा केंद्रीय विद्यालय जहाँ चूरू में है, उससे 150 किलोमीटर की दूरी पड़ती है सुजानगढ़ की, और हम चाहते हैं कि हर एक पॉइंट पे एटलीस्ट हम अमृत सिटीज़ को तो टारगेट करें जहाँ 1 लाख से ऊपर की पॉपुलेशन है, और सुजानगढ़ को भी आप इसमें प्रायोरिटी लेंगे। तो इसी तरह आपने जो भी अपने आंसर में बात बताई कि सेंट्रल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ हायर लर्निंग जो है, उनके 12 स्कूल खोले गए पूरे देश भर के अंदर, इसमें राजस्थान को एक भी स्कूल नहीं मिला। ये जरूर एक अच्छा कॉन्सेप्ट है, पर इस कॉन्सेप्ट के साथ में राजस्थान को इससे वंचित किया गया है। आप इसकी शुरुआत सुजानगढ़ से करना चाहेंगे? मेरा आपसे ये क्वेश्चन रहेगा।
अध्यक्ष जी, जैसा मैंने अभी कहा, एक प्रक्रिया है और उस नीति के तहत केंद्रीय विद्यालय का निर्णय लिया जाता है। उसके कुछ मानक भी हैं। पहले तो हमें प्रस्ताव प्राप्त होना चाहिए, राज्य सरकार द्वारा होना चाहिए, गवर्नमेंट के मंत्रालय विभाग इसकी स्थापना कर सकते हैं। साथ साथ प्रोजेक्ट मोड में भी केंद्रीय विद्यालयों का निर्माण होता है। जो 12 केंद्रीय विद्यालय का जिक्र माननीय सदस्य कर रहे हैं, वो प्रोजेक्ट मोड में भी हुए हैं। राजस्थान हमारी सरकार की प्राथमिकता रही है और आगे भी केंद्रीय विद्यालय संगठन
troubles over there, but again live visuals were of course coming in over there, where we of course saw Defence Minister Rajnath Singh speaking and in fact entering, I beg your pardon, but let's cut across to Jayant Chaudhary. There's of course yeah, let's cut across.
सदस्यगणों से आग्रह करना चाहता हूं, ये प्रश्नकाल का पहला दिन है। माननीय सदस्यगण भी प्रश्न संक्षिप्त में पूछे, माननीय मंत्री जी भी संक्षिप्त में जवाब दें, तो हम ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन ले। कारजोल।
All right, well, let's start this conversation with Ms. Raj Lakshmi Joshi on the broadcast. Ma'am, union budget tomorrow, a big day. What is your assessment? Of course, the economic survey is expected to be out today. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will be announcing it today. What are your expectations? Where do you think, in fact, what are the sectors where you think India should foray into, whether that's satellite, drones, energy? What's your assessment on that front?
A very good morning, Asawari. And yes, I always look forward with hope at the budget. And this time too, the PM has also said, that we are actually going ahead with an 8% growth is what he has said. And he has appealed to everybody to at least have a nice and decent discussion, a proper debate. And as you must have heard, he has also urged that, at least the first time members, they should at least be given a chance to voice out their opinions and their takes on whatever is happening. So because they should also be able to make a positive contribution. So I think that today whatever discussions should happen, like with the economic survey that is being put up by the finance minister, and the discussions, see, what I feel, I'm already disappointed with the opposition is that the Congress MP, Mr. Manikam Tagore, he has already put in a petition, a request to adjourn the House and put aside all whatever sessions of the whatever things are to be taken up by the Parliament, and only discuss about NEET and that RAO. So all of this, they have an entire list of all the things that are to be discussed. That is quite understood. But there are definitely a lot of things, including the budget. Like you said, there are a whole lot of issues in the budget, within the budget, to be discussed. So that actually should have been the focus. And also there are another 6 bills that the government proposes, or they hope to be able to put out before the 12th of August, till when the Parliament session is going to be on. So I think, in as in every budget, like you rightly said, right now the focus should be on, obviously, on the economic growth, and on the welfare of the people, on infrastructure, on the environment, on making sure that we have clean and green energy, on housing. All these issues are extremely important. And also, if you look at all the current scenarios that are happening, even the defense also is a very important aspect. That is another important department. So if you have seen, then especially in defense, I would say that the government has put up, it's not just one isolated plan about any particular infrastructure, or any procurement. It's about an entire plan, as I can see, where they're talking about right from the formation of the CDS to infrastructure to we are talking about drones, we're talking about the satellites. So where we are talking about how we have our own satellites, so that we are not dependent on other countries to be able to give us the feed during crucial times. So all of this actually makes a very nice consolidated plan for the defense of our country. And right now, we are definitely facing some issues on the China side also, and on the LAC, as well as on the LOC and the international border also. If you have seen, like, what is happening in Jammu right now. So, all of that, even in the Northeast also, we have to actually give a lot of thought to the defense part of it also. So right now, there are a lot of issues within the budget to be looked at. Obviously, the issues of the middle class, and obviously the income tax slabs, all of that is definitely something that was that the government always talks about. But apart from that, there are farmers' issues. So there are all these issues that actually, the MSP, about how much, how many items will be coming under the MSP. So all of that, and if there are any welfare schemes, and what kind of allocations is being made to different sections, to the different departments, about the education. So all of that actually, I think, right now, if you have seen that, we have definitely taken a huge initiative, especially when it comes to the green and clean fuel, the energy part of it also. So we are talking about how we are actually shifting towards cleaner energy. So, you remember how the BJP had spoken in its manifesto. It was not about giving, say, maybe free electricity to everybody, but there was a focus on solar energy, how you are going to be tapping solar energy, so that people also will be able to maybe sell out additional amount of energy that they may be having. So there is definitely a lot of thought that should be given into all of this, apart from whatever the government proposes, I think the members also should be able to put in a very positive and a very constructive feedback. That is the role of the opposition.
Indeed,
But what is
yeah.
happening is every time there is a huge ruckus and none of the discussions happen. And like the PM rightly pointed out, that there were a lot of members, even during the last 2 terms, who were not able to make any contribution at all towards any of these discussions. So I think that I hope that at least now, at some point, the opposition will take note of all of this, and we can have a proper discussions on all of these issues, and the NEET and the farmers' issues and whatever other issues also they are talking about. So I think that there should be a constructive way of the behavior of the opposition also, Asawari.
Right, absolutely. Mama, as we speak, of course, we can see Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan there speaking. If you could just listen into what he's saying over there.
Nothing is, when hiding nothing, everything is on record. Only singularly one incident is there, that is in around of Patna, and Bihar police and CBI are proactively taking action on that.
Dr. V. Kalanidhi.
Sir, it is unfortunate that the Honorable Prime Minister is not here for this discussion where this is of a national importance, sir. The Honorable Prime Minister was here. He could have waited for 5 minutes.
आप प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं क्या?
Sir, I will tell you, sir, this need is a problem which is being faced in all states, sir, especially in Tamil Nadu. We have been, from its inception, we have been objecting to NEET, and we have said that the decision to implement NEET should be given to the states, sir. The states should be allowed to decide whether NEET should be practiced in the individual states or not. Sir, we have asked a question if there is a proposal to scrap NEET, and that question is loaded with the deaths of so many students, sir. Starting from Anita, so many students have died because of this NEET exam, and they come out with a single line, sir. At present, there is no proposal to scrap the NEET UG examination. We probably should write it on their deathbed, sir. We should write it on the students' deathbed that the government is saying that.
Okay, of course. So of course, the processions taking place over there. But Professor D.K. Giri is still with us on the broadcast. Again, I'd like to propose the same question to you. Where do you think the budget should focus on? In fact, what sectors should it focus? What's your assessment?
Right. You see, one general remark on the functioning of the parliament, since my fellow panelists also touched upon it. You see, we do not have a responsible opposition in the country. No party, whether it is BJP or Congress, has learned to behave decently in the parliament as an opposition. When BJP was in the opposition, they were also blocking, creating ruckus in the parliament. So this is not new. It is unfortunate. But the onus lies on the ruling party to set the standards and carry the opposition together, whichever is the. I'm making a general statement. So the debates in the parliament should take place. Discussion should happen, not disruption. Because the parliament is the temple of democracy, as the Honorable Prime Minister said, and the temple should not be really defiled. That's my plea. And a lot of money is being spent on elections and running of the parliament. So if there is no decent, detailed deliberations in the parliament, then the function of the parliament is really defeated. Now, on the budget, you see, there is a lot to cover, but the focus should be on the agriculture, I must say, because agriculture is the mainstay of our development, if not growth. Growth and development are two different things. Growth and development should go together. India has 8% of growth, so India is becoming rich. But are Indians becoming rich? Indians are poor. If you look at our per capita GDP, then it is lowest among the G20 countries that we successfully run. So it is a very low GDP. That means India is still a poor country. And now in Singhu border, the farmers are already squatting on Singhu borders again. You see, and we had that infamous and troublesome period of blocking the Singhu border and causing so much problems for travelers. And there again, for last 2 days, they have blocked the Singhu border. Now, so that is the main, I think there should be the farmers' interest or their demands, and agriculture as such should be modernized and it should be looked into carefully in the budget. Then a generation of employment. You see, employment and livelihoods of people. So the budget should focus on that, create more employment, create more entrepreneurship, and so that people come out of the cycle of poverty and they have a decent livelihood.
Right.
If you remember the Arjun Sengupta report, that has not been yet challenged. The 85% of people are poor in India. That is Arjun Sengupta report.
Yeah.
So let's forget that. But if we look at the people below poverty line, that is still enormous in terms of number, if not percentage.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
With
So
that,
I would say that budget should be a development budget, not growth budget. It is growing, but development should also happen.
All right.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.